Hey guys, it's Nick, and I want to do my draft recap of the Chicago Blackhawks 2019 NHL draft this year. So I got my 2019 NHL draft hat on. I like what the Hawks did this year in the draft. They went for larger bodied players, averaging in at a size 6'4" after drafting all these players this year. Well, with the third overall pick, everyone knows it. The Chicago Blackhawks were proud to select Kirby Dach, a center from Saskatoon at the height of 6'4", 198 pounds. Dach was introduced to Chicago today by a press conference with the Chicago Blackhawks that they held in the United Center atrium. Dach will be wearing the number 77, which is what he wore with the Saskatoon Blades. I do like having Dach on the team, a big body center that's been has a style of play of a Mark Scheifele or a Ryan Getzlaf. I do like having Dach on the team. With our second pick of the NHL draft, came in with the 43rd pick in the NHL draft. We drafted Illinois native Alex Vitale, a defenseman that is 6'5", closer to 6'6", because he's a big body defenseman. Good pickup by the Hawks. He was looked around to go in the first round, or late first round pick, but he ended up falling to the Blackhawks at 43rd overall. I'm happy the Hawks picked him up. It's a big, solid defenseman that the Hawks got, and he will be needing probably a couple years of a development with the USDP, and then I believe he's going to college after he was drafted. This is a big pickup by the Hawks to get a big defenseman to compete with the St. Louis Blues, which was one of the larger teams in the NHL. Then the Hawks had did not have any picks in the third round, so they went to the fourth round for our third pick. At 105th overall, Michael Tipney, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's a left winger from the Czech Republic. He's 6'3", 187 pounds. This is where in the draft that it could be a hit or miss for a player to make the NHL or not. And honestly, at this point in their time of now they're going to be developing their game and trying to make the NHL, it's hard to tell where they're going to sit if they are going to make it to the NHL. But at 123rd overall, still in the fourth round, we pick up younger brother to recently acquired today by the Carolina Hurricanes, Sorella, my bad. We draft Antti Sorella, a center from Finland. I want to say that's where they're from. I'm not pronouncing the name of the team that he plays for. This is the smallest player the Hawks drafted this year. He is 5'11", so a smaller player, but 190 pounds altogether. So I guess big build, but smaller player on the team. Being a center, it's also another hit or miss at this point in the draft for a player to make it or not. And then the Hawks go into the 6th round, not having a pick for the 5th round pick since we recently traded that to the Pittsburgh Penguins. We had the 167th pick in the NHL draft. We ended up drafting Dominic Bass. This guy is huge. He's a goalie, and he's 6'6". You heard me correct. He's a big boy. That's Ben Bishop-sized goaltending right there. And with us having to develop some goalies, with knowing Corey Crawford's contract ends after this upcoming season, it's a smart move to get another goalie to start developing. Again, it's a hit or miss because it is a late round pick. You don't know how these players will turn out. But after that, we go into the 7th round. At 194th overall, we pick Cole Moldberg. I believe that's how you pronounce it. From the Prince George team of the WHL. He's a defenseman. He's 6'3", 198 pounds. Again, hit or miss. This guy's been said to be kind of like a Dustin Byfuglien, a big body player that can play forward or defense, I've heard. So it could be an interesting pickup if he turns out to be like a Dustin Byfuglien, because Byfuglien was an 8th round pick, where the 8th round no longer exists in the NHL for the draft. So this is an interesting pick. The Hawks as you could see, they did go for large-sized players to go into this year's draft, because we're playing against some of the larger teams in the NHL of Winnipeg and St. Louis. The Hawks are trying to build a little bit bigger to boost the team in grit and size. That's basically what the Hawks were looking to do in this draft. Again, with the 3rd overall selection, I am happy who we did select with us taking Kirby Dach. It's going to be a good pickup for the Hawks to have a big body center that could potentially make it to the NHL this upcoming year. I would love to see that happen. But in the comments down below, I want to hear what your takes are from this year's NHL draft. How the Hawks took primarily large-sized players going into this year. And I want to know what your takes are from who you think could pan out from the bottom 3 from the 4th round all the way to the 7th round picks that we had. I want to hear what your takes are. So, thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, let's go Hawks!